Welcome to the Hermitage Garden. This area east of the historic mansion at Andrew Jackson's Hermitage is just over 1 acre of formal gardens. This garden has been in production in some form for over 200 years. Our first primary source records show Andrew Jackson paying a formal British gardener, William Frost, from 1819 to 1826. The center beds, part of that initial landscape design, are planted each year with annuals and amended with natural fertilizers. We plan these beds 1 year in advance in preparation for peak spring bloom, which you're seeing now. Some of the key plants are hyacinths, tulips, and daffodils, all plant specimens from the early to late 1800s. When you turn and walk down Herb Alley going towards the tomb, you'll see many herbs in production during the Jacksons' time that were used for medicinal purposes throughout history. The designed landscapes of the 1800s gardens were influenced by English design philosophies characterized by open lawns, curvy carriage drives, and distinct flower and vegetable gardens. Key elements of these designs have remained in place at the Hermitage Garden for over 200 years, and they're emphasized by symmetrical beds and plantings, axial paths, and simple, geometrical, proportional gardens. As you come to the family resting place, you'll see the tomb designed and built in 1832 by David Morrison. That tomb was built to honor and remember Rachel Jackson, who passed away in 1828. June 10, 1845, when Andrew Jackson was laid to rest, he was laid to rest next to Rachel in the tomb structure, and just to the north of that tomb structure, you will see Alfred's resting place. Alfred, who was an enslaved person, lived at the Hermitage longer than any other person. Upon his death in 1901, his funeral was held in the center hall of the mansion, and he was buried in the garden in this place of remembrance and memorial. As you move through the garden, you will see formal beds planted with flowers grown here since the Jacksons' time at the Hermitage. Lily of the valley, peonies, Japanese magnolias, and crepe myrtles are key specimens. We start thousands of plants by seed in our greenhouse each year. We also showcase many varieties of old garden roses. We currently care for 40 boxwoods. Boxwood plants have long been an important part of the Hermitage Garden and were very popular during the 19th century in American gardens. Jackson's personal writings throughout the 1830s show us his concern that the garden be cared for and kept up as a memorial to Rachel. The garden is now a living historical site, a place of garden innovation, and a place of remembrance for loved ones past. Andrew Jackson was quoted as saying, "The garden is now to me a consecrated spot, and I wish it to be carefully attended to." We owe our thanks to the grounds crew, all of our garden staff, Michelle, Frank, Chris, Scott, Jim, and Manette, and research assistance from Amber Bessonen, Kelly Etheridge, Brian Gilly, Mike Zimmerman, and Tony Guzzi. I'm Sarah Edmonds, the Historic Garden Manager, and we're glad you came along for this virtual tour.